Hey folks, this is the first episode or installment of a series of videos that I'm creating for this channel to educate people on matters of travel, right? And how to work with travel agents, but to also dispel some rumors that, you pay more when you use this, which is actually not true. But to really drive that point home, I want to give you an analogy around shopping, right? So I'm a 70s kid. I remember going to the grocery store and there being a cashier to ring up my groceries. There was a bag boy to bag my groceries, and that same bag boy would take my groceries to my car. And you don't have to say yes, but of course they would offer. All of those services were baked into the price of, say, your groceries or a carton of eggs. Whatever you were going to the grocery store to pick up, just know there was a service component folded into the price, right? Fast forward to 2025 is where we are now. You go to the grocery store, you ring up your own groceries, you bag your own groceries, and you take your own groceries to your own MF car, right? So knowing that there's still a service component in the prices that you're paying for groceries, you might be getting ripped off without really knowing it. And if you're born in a certain time frame, this is your reality and that's all you've ever known. Now let's move to the travel industry. Travel agents and travel advisors, it's a similar term. We all are still operating on that 70s model. We will ring up your groceries for you, we will bag your groceries for you, and we will take your groceries to your car. What we do is a commission-based service that's baked into the price of the fare that you're paying. I'm particularly talking about cruises, all-inclusive resorts. This is not the case with flights, and I'll get to that in a moment. But the cruise line, no matter whether you use us or not, will charge you the exact same price. So if your cruise is $1,000 per person, it will be $1,000 per person when you work with a travel agent. Now, the accoutrements to working with us is that we may have an offer that comes directly from that cruise line and is only available to travel agents that we can apply to your cruise, thereby reducing the fare. So if it was $1,000 per person, maybe we can get it down to $950. That's $150 that'll go in your pocket that you could spend on the cruise or get yourself a nice handbag, whatever it may be. Now, you can also get perks that are offered by our agency that aren't necessarily directly tied to the cruise line. So there's a second opportunity to save money there. Another reason why you might want to use us, because we're operating on, again, that 70s grocery store model, is that we're providing service that you can't get from a cruise line. They're not going to remind you to get your passport, check in a few days with you before you actually leave home to make sure you have all of the items you need. And they're not sitting 3, 4, 5 hours researching the areas and compiling and curating lists of excursions that you and your family may want to participate in throughout your process, right? That's the work we do. And that's how we get paid, again, through the commission from those vendors. That service component can be activated, meaning you use a travel agent, or it can lie dormant and you do all of the work. So if you were to go to a travel platform, I won't say the full name, but say starts with the letter E, you're doing all of the work, right? The service component and fees are still baked in there, but you're doing the work. That's that modern day grocery shopping that we just talked about in the analogy, right? So use us. It's baked into there. You're paying for it. You might as well use it and maybe save a little money in the process. Last thing I want to talk about is service fees for flights, right? We don't get commissions on flights. So if you do work with a travel agency or a travel agent, you may be charged a service fee if they're booking the flights for you. So that's, sometimes it's offset. We can save you money maybe on the cruise component, but if we're also booking the flights for you, you might lose that little savings that you have because we do have to, compensate ourselves for the time that we spend to book those flights for you. So there are exceptions to what I'm saying, but for the most part, our commissions are baked into the price. The price is the price, and there's a conversation you need to have about service fees with whatever agency you decide to go with. I said I would keep to myself, it was a commitment to keep these videos under 5 minutes, and we're coming close to that. So if you'd like to tune in, you'll see in the upper right hand corner the link for the next video, which will talk about when you should use a travel agent. There are exceptions where some complicated trips you may need us and some you may not. I hope you'll tune in and feel free to reach out. All of my contact info is in the description. Take care, people, and travel safe.